What's going on, winners? It's your boy Loso 2.0. And today we're going to talk about the environment again. And the reason we're talking about the environment again is because it's so important. Okay, but before we get started with that, some housekeeping things. Please follow me on all my social media platforms on carlosjhenrywinswithaz.com. You can also purchase my first published book, Winners Win. You can also subscribe to my monthly mail newsletter. And you can also apply to be on my podcast guests. Or you could try to apply to work with me personally in order to see how we can maximize your owned traffic in your business to have people buy everything from you that you offer, refer you like a diehard cult member, and stay with you for a lifetime without the use of advertisements. Just by maximizing off their own traffic. But anyway, though, let's talk about this environment. Please, let's talk about this environment, okay? The environment is anything that physically, mentally, and spiritually affects the way that you think. Remember, we talked about before that your thought is like a sixth sense. Your thought is what's going to separate you from being successful. It all goes down to the way you think, and it starts. I was actually asked this question before at a networking event, and they asked me simply, Los or Carlos, how does my son has been through all these things, he's done this, that, and the third. How can he change his mindset and or the way he thinks? And I said simply just start by asking himself the right question. So it does start with your thought, but an easier way that will actually influence you into doing it is by changing your environment by the law of hypnotic rhythm. But if we're going to change our environment, we have to understand what that means, right? Because there's a hierarchy of environments. The first environment is spousal, your spouse environment, okay? Pretty nice ring, nifty ring that my wife got for me. Spouse environment, your spouse, who you choose to spend the rest of your life with, or who you choose to actually have relations with on a very deep and intimate level, really does affect everything. Because I said this before, behind every strong man is a very strong woman. This person, if they're condescending, they're not willing to grow. Everybody has their flaws though, right? But if they're constantly trying to bring you down, why would you be with that person? Because you're going to be with, if you decide to be with the person with the rest of your life, this is a big deal, right? I mean, it's such a big deal that, I mean, personally, I dedicated my first copy of my book to my wife. I know you can't really read it, but it says this, I want to dedicate this book to my wife, Courtney. She has lived most of these hardships with me and stood by my side. That's how important, like I'm telling you, having a strong spouse definitely affects your environment and the way that you think. The second one is the people that you hang with, right? Or live with. If you're living with your parents are going to affect you. If you're living with your roommate's going to affect the way you think. If you staying with nieces or nephews, you're going to be affected by the people you live with. So honestly, if you feel like you're in a bad environment with the people that you live with, get up and go, right? Or try to find your own place or try to find a new roommate. Because you're seeing this person when you put your head at night, when you're back to your natural self, when you're inside the home, you're going to be dealing with these people that you live with. So it's very important that the people that you live with also affect it. Third is your occupation. Okay. Your occupation is number 3. What you do for a living. When you're at work, you're spending majority of your life with these people, to be honest with you, because you spend 8 hours sleeping, okay, 8 to 10 hours at work, and then you got to think that leaves what there's 24 hours in a day. It's 8 times 3 is 24, so 16 hours, 2/3 of your day is already done because you're sleeping and one was with people at work. The other 8, I would say you're at home, but really it's commuting, it's eating, so you're really spending less time with the people that you live with than when you're at your occupation, if you're at work. So definitely having a strong work environment or a happy, positive work environment does really affect you. Or even if you own your own business, just being around that positive group of people is what's going to affect you and help you in order to grow. So you need to have a strong working environment, occupational environment in order to think about when you're trying to grow yourself or also take advantage of the hypnotic rhythm, which then goes to this third thing, the next thing, which is your close friends. The people you hang with is really important too. Remember, they said you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with most. If you're the average of these people, that's a big thing. because you're dealing with these close friends every single day. Now, I'm not saying that you all have to be entrepreneurs all looking to gain six figures. I'm not saying that has to be the deal. But what I am saying, though, is that the people that you hang with should all be on the path of trying to get better at the very least. They could be, we need police officers. We need firefighters. We need these different occupations. So it's okay if they don't want to be an entrepreneur, be a millionaire, because it's the law of duality or polarity, which is the idea that you feel me, you need you need villains to have superheroes. You need millionaires to have, you need poor people to have millionaires. You need millionaires to have poor people. It's the same thing. So close friends. Next is acquaintances, people that you meet on a day-to-day basis. They may not affect you as much, but they do affect you as well. So you need to have strong acquaintances. And then, of course, strangers. Even strangers affect your environment. If you're around a bunch of negative people that you don't know, most likely something is going to happen on a negative environment. This is why sometimes you see parties. I was just at a day party where it literally got shot up. It's like crazy. Like, I'm just trying to hear and enjoy myself, but you're around strangers and people with alcohol and stuff involved. Sometimes things happen. So really choose your environment important, right? I want you to comment below which hierarchy or which level of the environment do you think is the most important. And other than that, man, I'm just same old, right? Keep killing the day. Winners win, losers lose, and you pray for success like this. 2.0 out.